and the tool that allows us to gain all the values around us. So this beautiful building here, we were talking about construction earlier, a beautiful building here, to the microphones, to the iPhone, to the medication some of you might be taking, all of that, right? All of it, the lights, everything is a product of one human capacity. One human capacity makes every value that we have out there possible. And that is, as John mentioned, human reason. Reason is where all those are. Reason, exercising our rational faculty, is the most important virtue. It's the most important thing a selfish person does if they want to make the most out of their life. They think. So wanting some cocaine, because I feel like it. Most of our culture views that as selfish. I say, no, that's not selfish. Cocaine's not selfish. Cocaine's self-destructive. Because we know the consequences of what happens when you get on drugs. Right? Any person who thinks about it a little bit knows where it's going to lead, knows what it's going to happen. That's not what selfishness is about, but that's how it's being labeled. It's being labeled as do whatever you feel like doing. Act on emotion, win. But that's not what it is. That's not what you think about it. You know is your self-interest. That's destructive. Bernie Madoff. Everybody says, yeah, if you're going to be self-interested, Bernie Madoff. Now think about Bernie Madoff. Here's a guy who stole billions of dollars from his best friends. And that's basically what he did. They created a pyramid scheme and all his country club buddies. They were all part of his Jewish community. They were all his people he related to every single day. We assume, lied to them constantly. He lied to his kids. He had to be living in constant fear that he would be caught because pyramid schemes always collapse. It's just a question of when. Would it be after he died or before he died? Right? He had to be in constant fear that somebody would catch him with a lie. Okay, so right, he was a happy guy, right? Happy, cool life. He could fall asleep easily every night. I mean, Bernie Madoff was a miserable human being. He had to be. Imagine creating a psychology that would allow you to try to get away with it. That is misery. There's no joy, there's no happiness, there's no being a human being by being a Bernie Madoff. That didn't come out of rational thought, reasoned analysis of what's good for my life. I'm going to steal my best friend's money. That comes out of emotion, that comes out of whim, that comes out of, momentary desire, detached from reason, detached from rationality, and detached from his own self-interest. He didn't think. There's no self-interest without thinking. So Ayn Rand says, morality is about, again, making the most out of your life, living a happy life, choosing the values and virtues that are going to make you successful. Now, what kind of political system, what kind of economic system would a person who fully takes responsibility for his own life, who says, I want to go out there and make the most of my life. I want to go and achieve. I want to go and produce. I want to go and find what things, make me happy, how I can be successful. What kind of political economic system would such a person want? Well, the system that opened up the world to him, that gave him every opportunity. You know what? Such a person would say, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. And that's okay, because I'll learn from those failures and I start up again. If you go to Silicon Valley, and I'm sure here in Charlotte, how many entrepreneurs failed before they succeeded? The good ones failed, learned from it, and then succeeded. Some people fail and they fail. So be it. But if you really care about yourself, about your values, about your happiness, about your success, what you want is a political system that leaves you free to pursue your happiness. And one of the great things about this country is that that's what the founders of this country created. Think about the fact that we each have, according to our Declaration of Independence, an inalienable right to our own life, not the community, not the but our own life. We have an inalienable right to it. Our own liberty. And in the most selfish political statement in human history, each one of us has an inalienable right to pursue our own happiness. That's in the Declaration of Independence. This is not a revolution here. The revolution was fought 200 and some years ago and was won by the good guys. And yet, the corruption, in my view, of this, and Ayn Rand Institute, and Atlas Shrugged, of this morality of selflessness, this morality of otherism, of placing others' well-being before oneself, others' happiness before your own, of community first, of collectivism, of taking care of others as your primary moral obligation, is slowly, has been, and is slowly destroying the vision of our founding fathers. So, if we're going to fight for something, we need a fight right now to defend capitalism. We need a fight like there's no tomorrow, because there might not be a tomorrow. Because the energy behind the other side is incredible, and the momentum the other side has is incredible, and you know, it's a fight. And you can see it. Yes, the Republicans and Conservatives seem to be winning little battles on health care, but they're losing the war. We're losing the war. We've been losing the war for 100 years. You know, this is just one battle in a very long war that we've been losing. If we want to really fight, then we need to adopt a new way of fighting for capitalism. We need to not just talk about its efficiency and its importance and the destructiveness of socialism, but we need to be willing to say that socialism is evil. That state intervention, that state regulation is wrong. It's morally wrong. It's morally wrong to tell me how to live my life. It's morally wrong for me to tell you how to live your life. And use force in order to enforce it. One thing to just say it, it's another thing to enforce it through force. That we need to bring the language of morality to our side, and I think Atlas Shrugged is the way to do it. What the Democrats have had, what the left generally has had for a very long time, is a moral high ground. They believe in selflessness, and they have an economic system consistent with selflessness. The right believes in selflessness and has an economic system, capitalism, inconsistent with selflessness. Who's going to win? The left is going to win. What we need to be fighting for is a morality that's consistent with capitalism. What we need to be fighting for is our inalienable right to pursue happiness. What we need to be fighting for is a morality of self-interest. Because only when people recognize that it's right, that it's good for them to make a profit, that businessmen shouldn't feel guilty about making money, they should be proud about taking the fact that they took care of their lives, the fact that they created value, that other people saw real value in, that they are taking care of the people that they care about, that they built something and created something. That should be something people should be proud of. Businessmen should be proud in this country. They shouldn't be cowering with guilt or cowering because they're the enemy. They should be flying those corporate jets with pride. Now, assuming, it's a long-term, for the long-term profitability of their companies, which not all of us do. But they should be proud of their corporate jets. They should be proud of the fact that they've done so well that they can live in a large house. They should be proud of the fact that they are successful. Goldman Sachs told its employees not to buy anything with the money they got. So, put aside the specifics about Goldman Sachs, but the idea that people should be somehow embarrassed about their wealth, the idea that they shouldn't flaunt it, that they should hide it away somewhere, that is what's destroying this country. So I urge you, if you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, definitely read Atlas Shrugged. If you have read Atlas Shrugged, you haven't read it recently, read it again, because you'll be shocked at the parallels. But most importantly, I urge you to take the ideas in Atlas Shrugged seriously. Really look at the ideas, not just at the stories, not just at the economics, not just at the politics, but at the ideas, the core ideas. Because I think that's where the real revolution is. And again, if we're going to win, if we're going to bring back capitalism to this country, if we're going to bring back freedom and liberty to this country, I think we need a new ethic, and I think that ethic is an Atlas Shrugged. We need a